Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of August 18th through the 22nd. I will go over price targets on the 5-minute time frame, have a gap recap from August 11th through the 15th, and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is NEO. We ended the week at $4.81, up 8.09%. To the north side takes us to one level of resistance and a potential take profit area at roughly $4.90. Above that, at another level of resistance and a potential take profit area, $5. And should we be so lucky as to get to 4 standard deviations, that would be roughly $5.10. All the yellow horizontal lines are from when I marked this out in 2024. The purple lines are from 2025. Now to the south side, the middle of the trend is roughly $4.70. Below that will take us to another level of support at $4.50, $4.40, and don't hold your breath for price to get to here, but that would be a retracement back to $4.30. Since this is now the new middle of the trend for the week, if we drop down to this level, I will anticipate a bounce off of this line. Now looking left, you can see we were up here. The last time I looked at it last week, we ended at 484, and this week we're at 481. So the high was up here. All this area, this entire area, are your sell signals. This is a sell signal here, 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 and then obviously we were above that as the numbers and the graph recalculated. And when we are up here and we hit this line, this turns into support and we bounced off, just grinding along this line. And then here's a pop, and that's your sell signal. Down here, your buy signal. And here is your buy signal as well. Many levels of support and resistance in between -2 and 2 standard deviations. By the end of the week, we could end at $5.04 or near around that area if we continue to go up on the 5. And looking left, you can see there's a gap that formed when we fell down here. And then whenever we retrace, that's going to close at $4.90. And that will close here. And we could very well touch that on Monday or definitely by the middle of the week. Now this gap is still in play to the south side at 446, so watch out for that landmine. And we have this gap that I am tracing, following here. That closed out when this gap formed on Thursday, so this is no longer in play. And this gap that I anticipated actually did not close here. It actually closed here on Monday out of the gate. So we gapped up, so that means we will fill to the south side, and we did. That took us to 468. So that's done. That's why if you like to play the gaps or just track support and resistance, oops, you can do that off of, gosh darn it, what is going on? I'm hitting the wrong, there we go. All right, so this gap, remember, I just extend out as the week progresses. I have no idea where it's going to touch, and apparently I stopped it right here, and that touched right there on Tuesday. Let me just make sure. Yeah, could have been, yeah, Tuesday right there. So that took us down to 451, no longer a threat to our account. To the south side, and what is this? This, oh yeah, that was the top of that gap, so that's done. And then what about this gap? Here was another buy opportunity. We went even lower, and that didn't line up. That should have been down here. Okay, let me just delete that. That took us to really 441 here. Delete. That's why you got to go through and clean up your charting. That's still in play. This one is done. Yep, I like it when all of these gaps to the south side close. And then this one touched also. So now we're looking better. What happened with this one? Anytime I see a price label, I know I need to fix it if the gap is already closed. So that took us to 471, delete. And I think now my chart looks way better. I can start deleting the purple lines too, but that's another day. All right, let's go to the next one because now I'm going to blaze through this. Intel. We ended the week at 24.56, up 2.93%. Oh, very quickly with NEO. This has been the top runner for the last, let's see, this week we started, well, we're carrying it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, the last 4 weeks. Very nice. But, you know, it has opportunities to get in, get up, get out, and then there are pullbacks. So that's what day trading is all about. Or short swings to get in, get up, get out. Okay, 24.56. Resistance. It's right on the money where we were in 2024 at 24.90 basically. All right, so the next level up, 26.14, 26.75, don't hold your breath, 27.40. If we do, you know what's going to happen. I say it over and over. It's going to wick and then it's going to flush right back down. All right, to the south side, one level of support, 23.70. Back to an area we've been, 23.04 and 22.43. So we have a gap to the north side at 29.03 that I've been tracking for dozens of weeks. So what happened last week? We were at 19.95. Here's your buy signal off of this line. Again, it recalculated. So here's your sell signal, your buy signal along this line. And now if we hit that line, that'll be a buy signal. So what happened? So we have, this gap closed finally at 22.60, and that touched at the end of the week on Thursday. Delete that. We have many gaps to the south side. This one, oops. Let me make that a little bit bigger so I can grab the correct spot. We are moving farther away from these gaps. Did this? No, that one did not touch, so that is extended as well as that gap. So what happened with this red one? Or not the red, the green one. So we touched right here. I have not cleaned this up. I missed it. Tuesday the 5th, so that's done. Congrats. And what happened? Okay, this one is done 22.60. It started on Friday, July 25th, and then we closed out on the 14th. So congrats if you went the long game. Okay, and 23.77, so that's done. When did we touch? Oh, look at that. This one touched right there as well on Thursday the 14th. Delete to 23.77. That was an anticipated move. Congrats. Oh yeah, we ran this week too. Talks about ways to boost manufacturing with the government. Anyway, so check out that article. Trump wants a piece of Intel, and Wall Street is all ears. All right, option R to reset. And the next one, Sofi. Actually, let me do one thing. So from 1995, roughly, 1995 here to this high right here is a return of 28% in 1 week. That is amazing. All right, Sofi. Let me go fast here. I keep saying that I'm not going very fast. Okay, resistance, 2403, 2428, the middle of the trend and the baseline. 2325, that's support, another level of support, 2274, 2247, 2221. The end of the week, we could end at 2296. We are in a downward channel on the 5. Note the sell signal up here, and it never stays. It's going to get wicked down, and we did. This is support, and then we bounced off that, but we fell through just a little bit more. This is support. Well, on the way up, it turns into resistance from down here. On the way back down, that's support. That is resistance. All right, what else is happening? This gap to the south side is your pullback area. Keep that in mind, as well as some other moves down here and here as well. But not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Yeah, I think, oh, what is this green? Oh yeah, I did not delete this when I cleaned up the chart. Oops. Here, let me just delete that. We've already passed that a long time ago. Apparently I didn't drag it back far enough. 1634 is done. And that looks better. Now the next one is going to be Rivn. Option R. Okay, the middle of the trend and the baseline and resistance, or we could chop sideways, 1234, 1253, 1263, 1274, 1213, 1202, 1192, and by the end of the week, the middle of the trend could end up back at 1304. And then obviously these levels above and then to the south side. All right, we had this gap open up last week and it touched on Friday. That opened up on Thursday. So 1 day trade there, or 1 day gap. This is still in play, moving farther away from it. This gap is still in play. And okay, I extended, wait a minute. Oh yeah, that is still in play. For a moment, I tricked myself there. All right, oh, what is this? This apparently, I did not, oh, that, oh, sorry, that did touch, so we're done. Okay, all right, that looks good for Rivn, and we're in an upward channel on the 5. Next up is Boeing. $235.26. 236.86, 237.85, 238.70, the middle of the trend, and we could chop sideways here would be 235.08, 233.19, 232.27, 231.26. At the end of the week, we could be here roughly at 241.13. Now look at this. Here's your, oops. Here's your massive sell signal there. This is your buy signal, all this is your buy signal. This is resistance, your sell signal, sell, buy, and your sell. And we have a gap to the south side, but right now we are in an upward channel, moving farther away from that. And then the previous week, what is this? Oh, that's because I did a video at the beginning of the week, 229.12, and that one was over here, and I'm missing a line. You can just tell if you do markings like I do every single week, you know there's something off there. Okay, so we've been all over the place. Look at that. There was your buy signal if you ever saw one at 218.69. Oh, and we have gaps to the south side to be aware of. So I will continue, to extend that. But right now, moving farther away, and we are in an upward channel. What is this? Why do I have this in green? This is not, this should be deleted. All right, let's go to the next one. Nike, option R to reset. All right, we are at 76.97, and resistance is very close to where we were previously. 77.04, this line was marked out. Well, what the heck? I'm just going to delete it. As you can see, this is marked out a long time ago, and I don't want to, option R. Oops, stay on page. Option R. I'm just going to delete this. 77.01, it's too close. There, that looks a little cleaner, a little fresher. Okay, 78.54, 79.31, 80.03, 75.67, 74.96, 74.23, and by the end of the week, the middle of the trend could be right here, 79.10, if we continue to go up. And we are in an upward channel. So what happened? This opened up on Thursday, closed out on Friday for a one-day gap fill to the north side because we gapped down, 77.19. This is still in play. As well as this one and this one, but moving farther away from it. Last week we were here. The previous week we were here. That's closed out. All right, I think I'm looking good here. Okay, that's Nike. Finally, Tsly. I'm going to try to buy some of this. I'm going to put a sell order in. I probably won't get it because I always go too low. I don't need more, but I do want some. Let me move this over. All right, we're basically returning to levels we've been to before. I want to mark that out. That's resistance at 775, 787, 793. I've sold some of this at 793, and 799 to the south side, 764, 758, and 751. You know what? I might put an order in here at 757-ish, but we've got a gap. But it'll take a while to get to this fill, I think, unless, of course, we wick and get slammed right down. Oops. Let me try that again and keep my cursor all clean. Okay, so that's pretty much cleaned up. And here's my public service announcement. And what else? So we're in a downward channel. That's why I anticipate this fill. And that fill could touch by Tuesday if we continue to go down. Might as well. I just want to rip the Band-Aid off so I can buy more. Okay, and what else? So last week, this is your sell signal, Here's on the way up, that is resistance at the middle of the trend. And there's your, what is this? Oh, that touched right here. That is your buy signal also at 768. That's done. What is happening with this one? I'll fix that later. Okay, so that is it. Check out my video I just did on Home Depot SPX. If you guys like to trade options, I just gave some price targets there, as well as Home Depot. I think I narrowed down my refrigerator that I was talking about. I think I might get a Samsung to match all my appliances at my other rental. And again, where did I put my public service announcement? Right here. For this place that I own, this rental, please, if you own a property there, if you're an owner, if you are a landlord, please dump this lady We don't need her to be on the board for over 26 years. I think it's actually 30. That's not good for any association. And that's my humble opinion. All right, that does it for me. That is a look at my Gap and Go trades for the week of the 18th through the 22nd. I think that's right. Where did I put? Oh yeah, the 18th through the 22nd. All right, have a great trading week.